Hello, Mr. Shaker. How are you?
Hello, thank you so much. I'm good. What about you?
I'm fine, thanks. And thanks for accepting my invitation. And first of all, I want you to introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, of course, it was my pleasure to join this meeting. All right, my name is Erkin, as you mentioned. I'm Salesforce developer. I'm working in an Australian company, energy company, as a Salesforce developer. Yeah, that's all. And I can go introduce myself more with your question. I know you
Yeah,
have
I have a lot
question
of question
for
for you.
me.
You don't want to give too much information in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of question for you. Actually, there are a lot of people out there trying to learn about Salesforce and they want to get information about Salesforce. They also want to know about typical life of Salesforce developer. So, yeah, I would like to ask you first question as like, who was Mr. Chakir before he became a Salesforce developer?
Yeah, that's good start. Before I start IT field, I was running my family business with my family. I was running family's business. After after it got bankrupt, I have to decide. I have to give a big decision, and I decided to follow my dream. And my childhood dream was become a software developer, but because of the condition, I couldn't choose that path when I was young. But and this at that time, I give my decision to follow my dream. I start to investigate IT field. Where should I start? How should I start? Right, as I don't have computer science background, I have to be very careful what I choose. But I choose the most difficult language, which is Java. I started to learn, because if I want to do it, I want to do it right. So that's why I didn't worry to choose the difficult one because I was enjoying coding and learning. So I choose the difficult one, Java. So I learned Java programming language from the documentation. And after that, it was time for me to decide how to have a job. Okay, then I think as I don't have IT background and as I don't have a computer science university degree, so I thought I can create a good game, and after that I can advertise myself with that game in my interviews while applying the jobs. Yeah, I created, then decided to create a game by using Java programming language. And I created two games, Android games, and I uploaded them to the Android market. But it turns out that these things cannot be successful, like game, especially creating game, cannot be successful if you are alone. So you should have a team, graphic designer, planning, and everything. But I was all alone. I didn't have network, so I couldn't be successful. I mean, the game was good. The game was whoever see games that was good, but even though you produced a good game, you have to spend a lot of money for advertisement. That is how it works. After I understand that, I was in search of another part in the IT field, and then I met with Salesforce. And actually, in one documentation, I met with Mark Benioff. I was a free diver, and I was trying to increase my holding breath time, apnea time. And because of being free diver, I have to do meditation. So there was a documentation. So and there in the documentation, it stated that in the headquarters of Salesforce, every story of that building has a meditation rooms. So that attracted my attention. So in the recent world, how that can happen? Like, okay, Mark Benioff itself encouraged people to meditate and focus, so they can benefit from the developer better in that way. It attracted my attention first. After that, I investigate more, and I find out there is a great network out there, and it is easy to join. Like Trailhead, Trailblazer, and many. many groups, many public groups you can join and ask anything. So that is what I did, and I enjoy. I just joined the Salesforce. I learned, and that was one of the best decisions I made, joining the Salesforce world.
That's great. And by the way, I'm sure that you were successful, but like you mentioned, even you create something successfully, even your product is so strong, there are a lot of external effects like advertisement and other stuff that needed to be able to sell the product and to be able to get great success. So
Yeah,
even your product is successful, even your job is successful and strong, still it could be a hard way to go.
yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. You're
yeah.
right.
So you mentioned how you start Salesforce, but can you give me more details like why and how you choose Salesforce? You actually did the introduction, how you choose it, but there are a lot of people out there, they are trying to find best fit. They want to decide if Salesforce is the best fit for them. You may want to tell about some of the advantages of Salesforce field.
Yeah, sure, I can say. First of all, if a person wants to enter the IT field, like smooth entering, and the Salesforce is the best choice because when the Salesforce first emerged, they said no code, no code. That was their motto. And after that, as the demand too high, so they have to include some coding, but still, their motto is low code and more work, as low code as possible. So that is best and smoothest the way to enter IT field. Right. So and also it has a lot of network you can join and ask anything and you can learn. And when you consider the how much occupation out there, how much job opportunity is, and you can see the the landscape there. It's a great and many companies in the world in any country you can just check it in the LinkedIn. A lot of job opportunities about Salesforce developer, and it is easy to learn, easy to transfer from another field. If you have slightly any IT background, you don't have to have IT background, by the way, but if you have an in another field, and you can transfer to the Salesforce. So that is, and besides that, there are many advantages like salary compared with other IT fields, and also the working condition and the general the respect you have, and that's all was the effect on me while I choosing the Salesforce.
Mhm. That's great. And thank you for the information. And I want to know about senior Salesforce developer position. I want to know how long it takes to become a senior Salesforce developer in case someone interested.
Yeah, and if I want to give a time, I would say three to 5 years it takes to become senior. Actually, you can become senior after 3 years. But I don't want to be misunderstood here. Actually, yes, generally it is accepted. Okay, after 3 years or after 4 years, you become senior developer. But actually, how it is measured if you are senior or not, it is the way you code, the way you look at the problem, the way you solve the problem. I can give you a slight example here. For example, there is a problem and it needs to be solved. Junior developer can solve that problem with 20 lines of code. Okay, but senior developer can decrease that 20 lines of code to the 5 lines of code. Okay, that will make the machine work fast and everything, So that is a summary. As a summary, what makes a senior developer as a senior? Actually, I wouldn't just measure it as a year, but there is a mutual acceptance that yes, after 3 years you are accepted as a senior developer. You can just work and apply any job as a senior developer.
That's great. Yeah, I also want to ask you about the company's perspective. So why and how the companies start using Salesforce? Because we learned that a lot of companies switch their system to Salesforce in nowadays, and we want to know the reason.
Yeah, of course. And the answer of this question will also answer why Salesforce is so famous, why it's like so common. All right. So, okay, if you are running a business, you have to run, and most of the business generally is as a sales process. Okay, and when you look around and think a little, you are in a sales process in most of your action. Okay, if you want to rent a house, you are in a sales process. If you want to subscribe a internet or mobile, you are in a sales process. Okay, how sales process starts? A citizen search or campaign, whatever say. Okay, whatever you want to buy, you just search it and investigate. After that, you decide. After that, you buy. After that, if you have problem, you call the company. That is summary of the sales process. Okay, so if companies wants to run this process on a professional tool, on a professional environment, they have to have a IT department, or they have to have a tool, and that tool we call CRM, Customer Relationship Management Tool. All right. So if a company wants to choose a CRM tool, so the company investigate which is the best one. The best one in the world right now as a CRM is Salesforce. Okay, so if any company wants to do the business in a professionally, and if their business is so large, so they choose the best CRM tool. So that they can run their business smoothly, from catching the customer to the satisfying customer request if they have any problem. Okay, that is a whole process, and Salesforce provides solution from beginning to the end, full sales process. Right, I'm saying always sales, but it is not limited to sales. Sales is uh, most important part of Salesforce CRM, but there are service, and there are many other aspects like health cloud, like loyalty cloud, and education cloud, and whatever the world needs, Salesforce just give the answer. For example, we have a crisis like COVID, so Salesforce directly produced a vaccine cloud, health cloud. Inside that, vaccine cloud. So the vaccine cloud is totally focused on tracking the vaccination of the citizen. So that's just the answer of what the world needs. So this is how Salesforce look at the world. That's why they are so dominant at the CRM market.
That's great. So, since you talk about the advantages of using Salesforce for the companies and advantages being a Salesforce developer, now I want to know what changed in your life when you became Salesforce developer. Did you had a big change, like everything changed, or you still continue the same life but little adjustment?
Yeah, actually, I met my dream. My dream came true, but I'm telling, I mean it when I say it. I'm not just telling it. Okay, I mean it, because that's my childhood dream, to become software developer. Okay, I developed something in the Java developer, but I didn't get the what I deserve actually as a result of what I developed. It didn't go as I expected. All right, in the Salesforce developer, I had a job, and people show me respect. People show respect to my thought. As they show respect to my thought, I started to produce a better solution for the problem. So that make me feel more valuable even to myself, because my thoughts are important, my inputs are important. So generally, if you work as a Salesforce developer, it means that you have a respectful working environment. That is what I care most. And if I want to talk about the economic aspect of becoming Salesforce developer, actually the mathematics is simple. You can just search Salesforce developer and just check what the country paid. Is one of the highest payment among the IT world. You can just any country, and I mean it, in any country is one of the highest payment, and the workload is not too much as like other IT field. Workload is also comfortable, so you can set a balance between your daily life, like family, and your work life, and that is the great value. I am doing what I like, and I can spend my time with my family. I'm not overworking, and I just get what I deserve as an economic, as a money. So I don't want anything else actually. That is what I want totally. It's total package for me. So
Yeah.
that's really, I am happy to become Salesforce developer.
Yeah, it is great to hear that you enjoy what you're doing right now, and you also get enough payment, and you
That's
have
right.
everything to be a successful and happy person.
Yeah,
As
exactly,
I see.
exactly.
That's great. So, can you tell us about the typical day of Salesforce developer? For example, you wake up, you have maybe your cup of coffee in the morning, but then what? You said that expectation is a little could be a little lower comparing other IT fields, right? So, how is your typical day?
Okay. First of all, let me talk about what I work, how I work. My project right now, my company is an energy company in Australia. So I am working on a completed project, Salesforce project, but that is to a very large scale project. Okay, and with me there are 30 other developers. Together we are working on, and five of them is architect level. Okay, when we are working on a completed project, okay, we are not creating a project from scratch, but what we are doing, we are making improvement on the project because it is large scale. There is no end. A project can improve. There is no end to it, right? It can always improve, and also there can be some problem, and we are solving the problem which customer having on that project. Okay, that's what I do. So generally, and after I grab of my coffee, uh, I checked my internal email. All right, and we are using an internal email is just among the company. Okay, so and after that, if there is anything urgent, I can put prioritize. If I get that with email, I will do it. After that, we are using Microsoft Teams also to communicate, continuous communication. And also I'm checking Microsoft Teams if I get any message from anyone, right, which is important. After that, I started to continue my work. Like I have already a story and a ticket to work on. If I don't have, I just assign myself another ticket because there is a ticket backlog there, and I can just pick anyone to solve. All right. So if I don't have any ticket, I just pick my ticket, and after that, I start to work on that. And we have a daily meeting. When we have daily meeting, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, we talk about what we did about our tickets. And in my company, that's what I like. Once in a week, one day in a week, we don't in the daily meeting we don't talk anything related to job. We just chat ourselves, just cheer up ourselves. That is about how is my environment. And this every Tuesday we do that. We just talk what's our plan, what did we enjoy, did we see any movie like this. We talk anything not but not about the job. That is one day in a week. So that is overall how if I have any problem, like not what I mean, anything blocked my ticket, any problem while I'm working on my ticket, I just talk about the project manager or uh, our team lead, how to solve it. That is overall how I spend my time. And sometimes I open my music at the background. I like to listen piano when I coding. So that
Oh,
is how I work.
that's good. So it's also good to know that you're able to get help. But as I realize that your job is not like beginning because
Yeah.
you said you're looking for the solution for the problems, current problems. So you're not creating something from scratch.
Yeah, that
So
is very easy. Creating from scratch is easy, but
Yeah.
solving problem, existing problem, and if they are not persistent problem, that is difficult. And that is
Yeah.
actually what we are doing. And I like to do it because it is difficult. And because if I accomplish something difficult, I mean, I have something, on my hand. So that's I
Yeah.
enjoy.
So if you answer the question wrong in the interview, you shouldn't get that level, right? If you answer the question wrong, then they put you in the beginning level. But it looks like that you did good job in the interview and your position is high level.
Yeah, sure. They test me about that if I can. They test how I approach the solution, how I approach the problem. They in the interview before they hire me, they show me some problem, and they ask me, how I can solve this problem, and it was good at that time. My answer was good, so that they put me in
Um,
this position.
yeah, I can see that. So yeah, my other question will be, when you start this position, how was your first couple of weeks? Did they give you a job to do right away, or did they give you time? So I probably many people wants to know if they are gonna start the project in the first day of the job or not. So to know the answer, can you give us example from your life, from your
Okay.
job? How was your first couple of weeks?
Sure. Let me first give the answer as a junior developer who just started a new project. Okay, when a junior developer start a new project, if they put them in a new project, first week or first 2 week, they give them some documentation about company. They want to teach them the company culture. First, learn the company culture. Who is working on what? Okay, so after that, they start to build project. That is how junior developer on on my scenario, it starts the same. They give me some documentation to teach me the company culture. All right. After that, because my project is already completed, they give me some time to understand, to fully understand how the process, how the project works, how the business works. Because if I don't understand how the function, how the business function, I cannot solve the problem. That is why they give me some time to understand the process, existing process. So that is how I spent my first like month, I can say.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to ask you one last question. Probably I know the answer, but I will still ask. Do you have any long-term goal in Salesforce world?
Mm. Yeah, I have two goals. One is as a title, as a job title, right? And because I love coding and I'm fond of coding, so I become
Yeah, I can see
I
that. That's
want
why
to
I told you I know the answer.
yeah. My first goal is become an architect, Salesforce architect, and actually my goal is fulfilling that position. Sometimes I have self confidence. I can pass the exam, pass the certification, but fulfilling that certification and the title that certification bring to you is totally different things. And I never want to get any certification if I cannot fulfill the my responsibility. So that's why I care so much the certification. And I have another goal. That is my secret goal. First, I'm telling. And okay, when I worked with the companies, I realized that there are some side programs, some side softwares. Salesforce as a company wants to integrate them professionally. Okay, like own backup. For example, there is an own backup software. It is used to data seeding. I'm going a little detail, but just okay. As it is last minute, I'm using that. All right. So, for example, own backup. That is a software, separated software, but Salesforce as a company acquired and integrated that software to itself. Okay. So, in a certain aspect, there are some this kind of needs Salesforce has to have like as a side software. Okay. When the company needs, so generally instead of producing it from scratch, Salesforce, if there is a good one, just acquire it. Okay, that's what Salesforce do. As you know, like MuleSoft and Slack, and I can give you many examples for that. And what I want to do in the long term, I want to determine a need as a Salesforce CRM, a need which is not already in the Salesforce, and I want to develop software for that, so that Salesforce can acquire my software in the long term. That is my another goal actually.
Yeah, when you became an architect, promise we will do another IT talk. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get reserve my spot for the first IT talk
yeah,
when you
yeah,
became architect.
yeah. Sure, I will. Sure, I
Yeah.
will.
Thank you so much. And it was a great talk, and I was able to get a lot of information from you. I know that a lot of people are trying to learn about Salesforce now, and they have those questions in their mind. So we will continue doing IT talk, and hopefully those programs will be beneficial for many people.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much for
You are
helping us.
welcome. You are welcome. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Bye bye.